Hello, everyone. Welcome. Give it a couple minutes for people to show up. I know it's been a while. It's been a while since I went live. So hopefully people aren't like, what? Okay. Hope you can hear me all right. Everything's good. Yeah. All right. Give it a couple minutes, and then I'll have people show up. Just having some coffee tonight. I wish I was having something a little harder, but you get what you got right now. I'm all a rum. It's late for some people. I'm sorry it's so late. I'm gonna share this out on Twitter, make sure everybody knows. Sport news. Shared it. Sweet. All right. All right. I got one viewer. I'll just wait till people show up a little bit and then let people up. Hope everybody tonight is doing well. And we'll talk a little bit about the backstory, and I'm gonna redo the creation of my book because the last lower video I did sucked. I tried to record another one, and I cannot make scripts and read from them live. I go everywhere, and I'd rather just do it live. And just talk with you guys about it. I don't want to spoil anything about my book either, so it's fun. Oh, I hope everybody had a great time. For those who got to go to the anime thing and meet up with the Friday Night Tights people, I wish I could have been there. One of these times I'll be able to go. It's hard to go when you have 5 kids, and sometimes you just don't have the means to do it, and it sucks. I wish I could go. I really do. I think it'd be so much fun to be able to go down and meet everyone. If you hear that scratching sound, it's my dog going nuts. About to go put him back outside if you don't calm down. Jesus Christ. No, all right. Let's see if anybody shows up. It says there's nobody here, but there might be people here. Sometimes it doesn't really show. For those who did get to go, I hope you had a great time. I hope you got to meet everyone you wanted to meet, shake hands. One of these times, I'm going to get a booth at one of these conventions soon so I can sign my book and sell it. By the way, this is it right here. This is my book, Darkness Rises. Look at that. Whoa, it's beautiful. You know, the other day when Ripa announced his first batch books got in, and he picked up his first book, and you could tell for someone like myself who also just got his first books done. Um, yeah, there's something special about when you pick up your first book that you worked so hard on creating in your hands. And it's the final product of so much hard work. There's a special feeling you get when you know you worked hard and you finally did something that you never thought you were ever going to do. And trust me, I never saw myself as a writer ever. Like Storyman Jack says, he's been writing since he was like 5 or whatever, and me, I failed writing class like 5 times. One second. Well, I don't know. She's around here somewhere. So my kid take the dog out real quick. Dog's going nuts. But yeah, it's something special, man. When you finally hold it for the first time and it's everything you dreamed of. Gosh, there's nothing like it. All right, when you worked your ass off, you put money, your own time, sweat, your tears, many sleepless nights working, and it's here 2.5 years. That's how long it took me to get this done. Small Time Republic, hell yeah, welcome, yeah. It's a feeling, dude. Nothing like it in the world. So Rippo right now, when he got his first batch of books, he opened that box and he picked out the freaking comic for the first time, held it in his hands. He knows what there's a feeling you get. And man, I am happy for that man. I hope he does freaking fantastic. I can't wait to see everything he can do with his freaking Rippaverse and his comic company. It's gonna be great. Anyways, but it's not what we're going to be. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the back lore. I was going to make a video, like I said before, of my lore video, but my first lore video didn't work out very well. The voice sounded a lot different to me than it did when I finally uploaded it. So I'm not going to use that freaking story voice that I found, but we are going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the two main races. I might even go over one of the other cool races you guys probably will love because it's one of my favorite races of all time. Yeah, and then it's not going to spoil anything about my book. It's just going to be some of the backstory and lore so that people get a little more excited if they want to get my book or not. 1 second though. Okay. Sorry, my kids are starting to get like really freaking loud. As you know, that's my main character right back there on the poster. Other than that, I guess we'll hit it up. Okay, so the first little video is all about the creation. We'll cover that real quick. So the creation of pretty much the story of my book, you have to go back to the very creation of all things, before the creation actually. How how I first came up with the storyline is what pretty much the question I had was, what would God look like to aliens? Like if God's real, create all things in the universe, create multiple galaxies, what would he be to other races out there and demons? And I wanted to put in a fantasy setting to all of this. So, as I said in the first, when he created us humans, we were created to be pretty much the caretakers of God's Eden. So we're gardeners. He created humans to be gardeners, and we probably blew that job like off the water. So the darkness. So before creation, there's God, and then you need something like every universe needs like the great evil, something that is beyond um, what we could face as mortals, something terrifyingly powerful. So what I did was that God created light; it separated the darkness from him. This darkness became an entity in itself, not a creative, but a destroyer, a twister, a bastardization of all creation. So it gets pushed back to the very edges of all creation. It's pretty much there, and it starts to slowly work its way into the mirror sphere, which the mirror sphere is pretty much, it means all universes into one. So this darkness started coming in and taking galaxy after like it started moving in, and I'm actually going to release. I want to do a comic where it actually has Lucifer goes to face the darkness with a host of angels, and they get taken and twisted and become Lucifer becomes Satan, and his angels become, some of the archangels that went with him become the princes of hell, and so on and so forth later on in the book series, which I can't wait to do, because my next book is all about them going into these worlds, having to go into the darkness's realms where it is mostly powerful and drive the darkness back. So they're going to meet, like, whole worlds are going to be reflecting the prince of hell that owns that world, which is going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait to get into these next books. But yeah, so he creates. God sees that the angels are all spiritual beings. They're not physical beings. And right now, the spiritual realm and the physical realm are one, almost one and the same. There's no difference really between them. And God knows that one day he's going to have to separate the realms, because evil will start to influence angels, and he sees that. And so he decides he needs a physical creatures that will help protect the physical realm from the darkness, because the darkness, when it twists and bastardizes life, they are no longer physical or spiritual beings. They become some kind of in-between creature. And so the angels will be able to protect the spiritual realm, but who can defend the spiritual, the physical? I mean, the angels will protect the spiritual realm, but who can, at that point, will be able to protect the physical realm? So this is when God decides to create Milan. Milan, as I said in my first lore video, means shield, or those who shield others. And so God creates Milan, and he takes one of his two greatest of all of the archangels, Michael the archangel and Raphael the archangel of knowledge. He takes both of those angels, has them come to Milan as he just created the world, and he takes feathers from Michael and feathers from Raphael and starts creating. He literally takes the archangel's feathers with the dirt and makes a new race. The Kundo and the Igno, those are two main races of my book. There's a couple others, but the two that are angel born are these. The Kundo. What? Yeah, just 1 second. I'm sorry. Anyways, the Kundo and Igno. Think of them like elvish almost. They have pretty much, they look exactly like the elves. I just didn't want to call them elves, though I did call the dwarves. So yeah, that's the other race I will talk about later. They pretty much have the characteristics of elves. They're long lived. They're tall, long, the pointed ears. The Kundo don't really have long hair. They actually have very short or shaved heads, or very buzz cutty hair. Some of them have beards, some don't. The Igno though have long hair, and they pass down an actual special bark that they turn to, like, almost like a leathery material that they tie their hairs with, and it's literally a family heirloom that's passed on through their family line. Um, the Kundo are the more physical of the two races. They're the ones born from Michael, and the Kundo are literally, think of like elves, but like more stronger. They're the short-haired ones. Sometimes have beard. They do all the physical labor on Milan. They do the farming, the hunting, the mostly bulk of the military, um, the weaponsmiths. They do most of that kind of stuff. And then you have the Igno, who are born from Raphael, who's the archangel of knowledge. So they are very intellectual. Um, they're very researchers, librarians, tacticians, elementalists. They're kind of like the more, like, you got your physical warrior base, and I want to do like a magic race. So they're very magical based. And the Kundo can only affect the elemental forces of their own bodies. Ignos can affect the elemental forces around them. In my book, everything, all the magic system of my story is literally God's life energy. When God created all life, and he did it when he said, "Let there be life," an explosion happened. This explosion was his literal life energy from his body pouring out through all time and space and starting to pull worlds together and create. So it's very rare that actual God goes to the worlds and handcrafts the people in the worlds. That's in my story, anyways. It's how I did my fantasy. So like Earth, it's kind of like long off. It kind of affects what's going on, but not really. Nobody, God kind of, they're not really caring for, because we are like the closest. Well, Milan is literally the farthest created world closest to the darkness, so that they become the shield for all of the others. Anyways, so um, you have the Kundo who affect, as I said, affect their life energy within their own bodies. So let's say they can pull energy from within them to certain parts of their bodies. So let's say they need to lift something really heavy. They can allow themselves to pour life energy from their, part of them into other parts, so they can increase the strength of their arms, their legs, and do more like fantastical feats. Um, there's also a major difference between the two is their eyes. The Kundo have an extra iris that goes around their eyes, and this has a little slight glow to it that glows to whatever color their eyes are, pretty much. Um, this allows them to have normal sight like us, but they also have far sight, so they can literally like almost like a zoom. So they can focus on something like that and then zoom it in, so they can take something that's far, far, far away and bring it far beyond what we can do. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to have them be able to do that. So it really helps out like the archery, their hunting. They can see things before anything else can. Well, the Ignal don't have that. They have more like cat eyes. And these cat eyes allow them to see the actual elements that flow around them. Like all life energy is flowing. Like they can look at a tree and it doesn't just look like a tree. It like glows with life energy because it has earth life in it. So I have literally have God's life energy flows through all things: water, air, uh, soil, lightning, wind. Everything is God's life energy bends around these different elements. And certain people are born to two different elements. Each, like most of them are. Sometimes one, sometimes two. Um, very rare anymore. There's almost never anybody's born with a third or a fourth. Um, So later on, they get tested in the book, and like which my main characters get tested to see which they're born under. Like a Kundo who's born under the earth can be able to harden their body into like stone, and if they true masters of the earth element for the Kundo can literally turn their body into metal, pure freaking metal. So if you're trying to strike them, you'd literally be striking pure metal, and just sword would like explode or something. Fire, if they're born like a Kundo born into the fire elemental, he would be able to raise and lower his body temperature to where he can need it. So let's say this is like an example where this will be used really well is up in the northern mountains in my book, where it's very cold and snowy and the snow is deep. A Kundo could focus the fire elemental within his own body to increase his own body temperature, which allows them to wear lesser gear than they need to keep themselves warm. Um, and also the opposite, if they lived in the desert areas, they would be able to lower their body temperature so that they're not as hot in the sun as others. Ignal can do the opposite almost. They affect what's around them. So they become elementalists and they become specialized element. Like the earth elementalist of the Ignal becomes a great healer. They have the ability to help heal wounds, help bring wounds back to close. They can help uh, growth, like plant growth, and help enrich the soil. So they also, if Ignal joins one of the clans that does farming, let's say, and they can go and help enrich the soil, bring more energy into the ground, making the crops grow bigger. They could also, one of their attacks, they can bring giant vines out of the ground to attack, stuff like that. A fire Ignal would be able to literally, light fires and pull heat from around them to start, fires or put fires out or control fires, stuff like that. Um, Lightning, those are control. Lightning can pull electricity out of the air, during like big storms. They can help guide lightning from hitting important structures, stuff like that. So it's pretty. I kind of thought that was like an interesting way of how I did the system, but it does take a toll. They do have certain amounts. They have to train for a very long time to mastering their certain elementals. And yeah, you'll see that when they go to a certain academy in the book. But they do live. Both races are very long lived. They live up to 100,000 years. So you can imagine what their lifespan, 100,000 years. That's how long the usual lifespan is of the Ignal and the Kundo. And there is a certain Kundo who's in my book is the High King, who's actually mortal and has been given the gift of mortality. He's literally over 400,000 years old. There in the story, and is watched as people have grown and died off, and they literally like their first 1,000 years is them getting to adult. Like their first 100 years actually is them getting to a certain like adult almost, and then the first 1,000 years is them training, and then they'll move on. You'll see in the book. And it's really cool. It's kind of cool how I have the races, and then I will insert the dwarves. The dwarves were actually not born on Milan. They're actually discovered by High King Therios with the help of Michael. Later on, I'm probably gonna do a book about High King Therios actually. While I do my second book, because I think it'd be kind of cool to delve back into the actual like how Milan went from the creation to what you have in the story. And he's pretty much the guy who helped bring everybody together, help create the clans, help do everything they have in the storyline. And he helped discover the dwarves, which is there's 2 moons. Milan has 2 moons, a dead moon like we have, and another moon is a forest moon called Creed. Creed and Frontline, because the angels actually use the dead moon as a base of operations when they go out to fight the darkness. So they literally have a giant, like technically advanced base that the angels live at on the moon. On the moon, it was pretty cool. And so Creed is one of those forest moons. It also has like mountains and stuff like that. It's not very big, but they go. There's a point I want to have. I might do it if I do a Theo book where he gets bored and wants to go see when he's like always looking at the moon. He goes, "I wonder what's there. I know you said it's a forest moon. Can I go there?" And he's like, "Sure." And he takes him there, and that's where he discovers the dwarves. The dwarves are a very crafty, strong warrior race who love building, and the dwarves they don't worship God like the Kundalini. They worship God as the ultimate creator. That's what they call him. They call him the great creator. And to them, worshiping God is building things, crafting, becoming masters of whatever craft. If they're glass workers or if they're metal workers, if they're weaponsmiths or armor smiths or whatever, they literally focus on the one craft as much as possible until they become master crafters, and their little priests become like the master class crafters become the priests, and it's pretty. I love. One second. Anyways, so the dwarves are like bearded, stoic little guy. Like go around. They are pretty much all born of the earth elemental. So they really don't control anything else. So he discovers them on this moon. It kind of covers it a little bit in the book, but yeah. So he finds them there, and they're pretty much dying out. They've kind of went through their resources a little over the top, and so the moon of Creed is literally running out of like natural resources. So they make a deal with Theros to come to Milan. So he takes the entire dwarven people and has them, with the help of the archangels, move them all to Milan. So they become their own clan on the world of Milan, and they pretty much all live. They live all over, but the bulk of them live in the northern mountains, which is what I call North Peak City in the book. It's freaking cool. It's like literally a giant dwarven fortress under this giant mountain range, and they pretty much craft. they become the major crafters and inventors of Milan. That's like literally like the whole story is like they go there and you discover like all the like crazy inventions they're doing, and they're ingenious and they love just drinking like dwarves. You know, if they're gonna be dwarves, they're gonna freaking act like dwarves. They love to drink, love to party, love to fight, love to get down, but they love to build and it's freaking. I love the dwarf. I love dwarves in any story. That's really I got the dwarf series back there. Uh, the book series, and I fucking love that series. But yeah, so yeah, there's the three main races you'll have in Milan. They all come together to help fight off the darkness, and it's demon hordes, and you'll get to like. I can't wait to get into more books because each book I'm gonna like the next book is I think Sloth is gonna be the first demon prince they go against and his world. I gotta craft his world. What would Prince of Sloth look like if he controlled the world and the world reflected him? And what would the demons look like? I gotta do all this stuff before I start writing my second book. I gotta really dive in, and that's why I want to find artists and stuff like that to help me really think and sit down and be like, okay, what kind of races do we want to put on these demons? Put it down. Um, Thank you. Um, Anyways, but yeah, I can't wait. It's exciting, and I want to do comic line, so I'm thinking of doing I'm thinking of doing a comic line later on as this book, grows, where it does the Bard of Heaven, where it follows Lucifer and his fall when he becomes Satan, and how like why God created Milan in the first place. Then the High King Therios story I need to do as a like pre to my first book, and then while I work on my second book, I got a lot of stuff I got in my whole head because these books are going to be freaking awesome. I got 4 or 5 at least planned. For the most part, I just got to like put them down and start really diving into the actual like stuff. But yeah. Other than that, just hang out for a while. I just ordered your book. Looking forward to it. Oh, thank you, Small Time Republic. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude, read it. Let me know what you think. If you're on Twitter, you can follow me there. Share, like when you get it, share a picture of yourself holding. I love seeing that. I had a couple already where people were like, "Hey, I got your book," and they were showing me they had it, and it's fucking awesome. I can't wait. So this is what it looks like for those who haven't seen. These are the shadow demons. That's Arthas right there, my character back there. And yeah, I can't wait till you dive in. You get to follow Arthas. He's the grandson of Theros, who's the High King, and his journey through the world, and he gets to discover, all about Milan and how it comes together. He's got to discover like different cities. You'll get this thing. And someone's give me a second. Once. Sorry, I was just crying. I don't know what's going on. He just woke up. Oh, but yeah. So, how's you guys doing? We're getting mini sphere. Should have been out for the night. Now their sisters are driving him crazy. But yeah, I can't wait to get the book to you guys. I'm so glad. Finally, 2.5 years. I didn't think it would take that long. I really didn't. If you followed me when I started the story, I was like, man, I could get this done in like 6 months. Watch me. And I was like, 6 months later, I'm like, I don't even have the story done yet. It took 2.5 years. A lot of it was the editing. Oh my God, did the editing take forever? And thank God for my editors because I'm not a writer. I've never planned on being a writer, and English was my worst subject. So thank my editors. My brother and my father helped me edit it, and they're far knowledgeable than I am. So they were literally like, "You got a lot of work to do," and Grammarly. Thank the Grammarly for helping my spell checking and all that sentence structure and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I had a story I wanted to tell, and I want to thank Gary. Gary from Nerdrotic is really the one who inspired me to start writing, because he's like, hey, if you have a story to tell, even if you don't really think you have the talent to do it, write it down, start doing it, and you never know, you might actually start enjoying it. And my God, creating this world was freaking, it was fun. Like my favorite parts were where I was just sitting here at my desk, just typing away. I was having a blast creating it. And trust me, it's still in my head where I'm like, okay, I could do this in my next book. I can do that. I want to start writing my next book like bad, but I want to wait a little bit until I have this one start going. At least make some money off of this so I can get the audiobooks done. I want to do an audiobook for this. And then after the audiobook, really start working on my second book and so on. I got to find like people to hire, and I got to see how much money it's going to cost. It's not cheap. Made in book is also not cheap. It took a lot of dedication. Like just the cover art was, I think it was like $300 to get the cover art done. I of course paid my brother, and he's getting literally getting like, I think we're going 50-50 on this, because he's my editor, and also he helps me write. Because we're pretty much doing this together. So I'm the one that comes up with the story. I write it down, and he's the one that goes, because everybody, if you don't know, any good storyteller needs someone to be like, I don't think people are going to like that. It's going a little too crazy. They kind of hold you back a little bit, not like majorly, but help give you ideas. Like he helped me with some great ideas. He helped me figure a lot of things out actually, and then he helped me edit it, which is great because you don't want to truly edit all yourself. Because if you start editing yourself, your brain, any good writer knows this, as you're writing, your brain gets ahead of you. And so you'll actually go back in your work, you'll realize you missed whole sentences, paragraphs, even because your brain went far ahead of your typings, and you're typing it, but your brain's like way ahead of the story, and you're like, oh shit. So you need to go back and like fix things and names. You gotta remember that stuff. That's why I have a program I got that helps me organize everything, the characters, the art, all that stuff. So it's great. The artists who helped me do that was 150. I think that was $50 each. Get that done. That one and my the Shadow Demons art I had done. And I can't wait to get artists to like do fan art. Like that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to, is people come out and like, dude, I drew this character, I drew that character, what I thought it would look like in your book. What do you That's what a creator wants to see. It wants to see people really enjoy. That's one of the things I want to see, is the stuff I love, fantasy I love. Because I love delving into. I can't draw. I can't. My art's gonna suck, like beyond suck. But I like to see, like my stepdaughter, she's great at art. And so what? Just put it, and so I can't wait to see how this goes. And oh, it brings, it's fun to see people enjoy your hard work and to see it done. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's nothing. There's just a feeling when you do your first book, and the print, you get it printed. I found, luckily for me, I found Drafted Digital to help do the formatting, and then printed the book pretty much on theirs, because they help self publishers like myself. They're also partnered with Amazon and a bunch of other people, so they can hook you up with all these different sites. So if anybody's thinking about doing self publishing but can't figure out where they want to publish, really think about Drafted Digital. They're not sponsoring me at all, so don't worry. I'm not getting paid by them at all. Actually, they're taking money from. They take a certain percentage of my book because they have to print it and stuff like that. And their site is great actually, because they have everything for easy, manageable. It was super quick to upload my script, my undone script, and it almost immediately formatted so everything fit to the page. They also did the whole these little things right here. I'll show you. See these little outlines for my chapters. They can actually insert that for you. so they can help you customize a little bit. Um, they also help you set up with your author page. They help you set up your title, everything for you, help you out. And then you just have to upload. They have like a little sheet that helps you edit your cover page to fit what it would, fit the measure requirements for the book. Fortunately, they don't do hardcovers. I need to email them and ask them if they're ever thinking of doing hardcovers, because they do they do the soft cover, and then they do digital, and then they do audiobook. But the problem with the audiobook is you have to, like, they are partnered with somebody who does audio, and pretty much you gotta find an actor who fits your book. You gotta send them a thing they can either agree to or not, and then you gotta figure out like how much you're gonna pay them, because on their side it's way too much for me. It's a lot of money per hour, so I gotta either hire my own, and then I can just upload it to them, and then and as long as I own the IBN, they also give you free IBNs, but I suggest you don't. To me, it's they say on their website that they don't own the copyrights even if you use their own ISBNs. But I think it's still better to go get your own, because I know on through Amazon, like if you use their ISBNs, they pretty much own the rights to your book. So you don't want that. You really want to get your own ISBNs. I found that out. That's this right here, or right here. That's this little barcode thing right here. It wasn't actually. I found a website. It wasn't that bad. What was the website called? The Book Patch, I think it was. Yeah, the bookpatch.com is where I found my ISBN. There's like $25 per one, which isn't bad. There's some places out there who want to spend like $300 for 10, and I was like, I don't need 10. You pretty much need one for your soft cover, one for your hardcover, one for your audiobook, and that's it. Because you're not really, and one for your digital, because you have to have different ones for different things. And all you do is you say, when you buy the thing, you say activate, and they'll say, what is this for? You put in the title of your book, you put in all that stuff, you put in your copyright, and you say this is for soft cover, and it's like, okay, soft cover, this is your ISBN for all your soft cover books, or this is your ISBN for all your hardcover books, so on and so forth. It's really not that hard, actually. But after you buy that, you get the cover art done, and you get all the editing done. I had one place get a hold of me, that some big publisher that they're like a big time self-publishing thing, but they wanted me to pay them like freaking like $9,000 to do the editing, the everything. And I was like, it'd be great if I had like $100,000 from something else just saved up. Yeah, it was fine. But when it's like $9,000, are you fucking kidding me? That's like a lot of, I don't have that. They're like, well, we could cut it down to 5. And I was like, no. Oh, were there unexpected hurdles in the process of getting published? Yeah, it was just hard to find. Like, it took a while for me to discover how I wanted to do it. And when I talked to that company, I was really thinking about doing it to them. And then they told me the price, and I was just like, yeah, no. But Drafted Digital, though, what I did was I found other YouTubers that are also, authors, and a lot of them were like, either do it through Amazon, and one of them was like, Amazon's great, but if you want to go a little bit broader, try Drafted Digital. And I was like, what? And it's pretty much Drafted Digital does it through Amazon, but they also do it through Barnes and Noble. You can click on my literally my author page, and it has all these different links, and they help you by creating your author page with your customizable link, so you can put all your stores into one solid link. Like, down below in my description is my link. And that was great. That was really helpful. My gosh, that was helpful. But then they say, hey, if we're not technically partners with them, you got to do it on your own. So, like, if I want to get my book to sell at Walmart or something, I got to somehow figure out who I have to contact at Walmart to be like, hey, I did this book. Can I sell it through you? Say I'm partnered to Drafted Digital or something like that. Is there a way, there's some times, I know we don't have a Books Noble here, but we have a Books A Million. I would love to get my book through Books A Million. I got to figure out how to do that. They're supposed to be accessed in libraries, and they're supposed to be, they're supposed to do all this other stuff where it gets sent to libraries and stuff like that if it's cleared for like different schools and stuff like that, which would be great. Cool if my kids could find my book in their school library. That'd be freaking awesome. They also have partners overseas, so that printing companies overseas that want to purchase my book, it goes straight to their certain stores are only in like Australia. I think there's one in Australia. I think I sold one book. It said in Germany, which I think is freaking cool because it's in English still. But I guess I don't know if they translate themselves or they. I don't know. I don't know how it works. So it's just interesting, with it. But the hardest part was figuring out how I wanted to do it, because at first I really thought about doing crowdfunding, and I was trying to find a printer. I was going through Indiegogo. I literally had a site set up through Indiegogo where I was about to launch, where I had like my perks, like hardcover, softcover, how I was going to do it. I was trying to find a good printer. I had like 2 or 3 printers I was talking to at the time. One of them I really was going to do, and then they stopped talking to me. They just stopped emailing me. So I was like, what the hell? Like, I had questions, and they weren't answering me. So I was like, okay, screw them then. But yeah, so then I found Draft Digital, and they're like, hey, well, the main part I was trying to find was how I was going to get, not the editing, but the, what's it called? The formatting done. And I needed someone to help me format the book. And everybody was like, oh, it's going to cost you this much per page and all this stuff. And then found Draft Digital. They're like, oh, we format it and everything for free. Print your book and everything. I was like, thank God. You just upload your manuscript. And I was like, it's not, it wasn't formatted at all. And they were like, done. Oh, would you like it in this and this font? Would you like it this and this? They do everything, like whatever fonts you want. Well, not whatever you want. They have like a list of fonts they have on their website that you can use. They have, as I showed you before, they have those like little inserts through the chapter thing, like the little scroll. One has a dragon with like treasure. They have a couple others. It was really cool, and yeah, I really enjoyed using them, and that's why I'm praising it right now, because they helped me get my book done. The biggest hurdle was editing. Editing took forever. I think I just almost a year I spent on just editing by itself. It's a lot of work. That's the hardest part. That's the most boring part, because you're pretty much going over sentence by sentence. You're going over and over and over. Then I sent it to my brother after I would edit it through Grammarly, and you got to watch when you use Grammarly too, because sometimes they'll screw up things, but it looks like it's right to them, but it's not. And so I sent it to my brother, and he's like, this doesn't make sense. I can't read this. You got to make sure it's all in a certain format. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I didn't even know you had to do when I started writing. Like one of the major things I did was because I was so bad, and I know education really in English or in writing, but I learned a lot writing. You learn a lot, and I had, thank God for a lot of the other YouTube writers and other book people I got in contact with. So I was like, hey, I sent him a couple chapters in my book, and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, you've got a lot to work on. Yeah. He's like, your chapters don't make sense, because I was having chapters end before a complete thought, or I was doing this or that. There's a lot of work, and it was, that was the fun part was just writing, but then you have to sit down and have to be like, okay, I wrote out the book. I got the chapters done. Now I'm going to send these chapters through Grammarly. I'm going to do all the spelling corrections. I'm going to try to make the sentences sound great. To me, they sound fine. Send to my brother, and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to fix this, and this. This doesn't make any sense. This should not be there. That needs to be in a different chapter. And I said to my dad, he's like, he's got a master's degree in like stuff. So he's literally like, yeah, I'm going to help you out too. He's like, you both don't really, because me and my brother aren't editors. He's not a professional editor or anything. So, we worked hard, and thank God I had my family to help me out, stuff like that, because I could not afford paying an editor, because dear God. Well, I am paying an editor, really, because he's literally getting a percentage of I think we're going 50-50 on it. So what we're doing is, except that we're not really taking any of the fun. Like none of the funds for this book is going anywhere but into the book. and into the channel and to into increasing the Mirror Spheres. Like, it's going to help me pay for all the stuff for my second book. It's going to help me if I do comic. It'll help me get artists and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not like taking it and like going to like freaking Six Flags or taking the money and going on a holiday. I made that much. I haven't made $100 yet, which is okay. You know, I'm a first time writer, so I don't expect to make, you know, I'm not Ripa. There's a huge high, you know, I am a little jealous of the dude, but in a good way, because my God, it lit a fire under me. Him making $3 million is epic. Oh, and I love the community and the fellowship for doing, you know, helping him get that kind of money, because that is freaking amazing. I can't wait to see what he could do with that money, because that's what I'm excited for. Because I know he's not going to go throw it in his bank account and be like, I'm a millionaire, I'm going to buy me a mansion or something. No, he's going to go and be like, okay, I know he said he was going to buy trucks, he's going to buy vans, he's going to get more people, you know, more artists, more writers. He's going to get, you know, have other people do other comics within his sphere, and he's going to build his company, and he's going to use that money. That's what I want to do with the Mirror Sphere. I want to build it where I can have other writers join in and write their own books that are on different worlds that still fit within the Mirror Sphere space. And I'm excited. This is what I want. I want to help indie creators. That's, you know, we're all just nobodies who are putting things together. And you think that, you know, yeah, Ripa's not a nobody because he's like a big time YouTuber and he's also a music dude and all that stuff. But in the grand schemes of things, he's still like really a nobody, and he made $3 million from one comic. That is amazing, and it burns a passion into people who think about being a creator, people who have never made a comic or a book, or, you know, thought about doing their own TV series or their own anime or whatever like that. And it puts a fire on you. It lights. That's, you know, that's why I say I'm a little bit jealous, but not in a bad way. It literally just, it makes me more passionate about doing creative stuff. And it's great. Here we go. Let's put this up for you. With Ripa, I see as a rising tide lifts all boats. His success will bring attention to others. Yes, it will. Yeah, it'll definitely bring more eyes onto other indie creators. And he himself, I know, is planning on hiring other people. So who knows? Some of those, you know, artists who did other indie books may get hired onto Ripa and help him do a, you know, a book for him, or who knows what he could do with that kind of, that money is going to go right back into so much good, and it's going to help raise other creators up. And that's great. It's why I love this fellowship so much, is because it's not just one or two people, you know, above all. It's literally a bunch of normal people who are so sick of the mainstream crap, and we just want good escapism. That's what this is. It's just an escapism. There's no politics in this. Literally, there's no earth in this. So there's no this, you know, this era, you know, they're not going to have all the crap we have in our reality in this book. This is pure fantasy. And that's what I miss. I miss books and I miss comics. They're just, for all the crap, you know, they just announced, freaking Marvel just, or DC, I think, just announced something I saw on Twitter that they're going to have a new Superman where he goes back to high school and he deals with like online hate. And I'm like, nobody wants to read a Superman comic where he's sad because some dude on the internet called him a pussy. Nobody cares. Online just, it's not what they want to see in Superman. They want Superman to be fighting bad guys and flying around the city and doing cool stuff. And Batman doing Batman thing. You know, they don't want to see Batman being a little girl who's gets stood up. But, you know, no. It's not what we want to read. We want to read cool, fun stuff that we loved since we were kids. You know, before the crap, before politics got into everything. At least be apolitical. Fight both sides. Make a good argument. Make a good story with good characters. You know, that one idiot's tweet out there was, I don't know his name, but there was a tweet on Twitter where the guy's like, you know, he was complaining because he's like, comic book fans say they want new things. Guy gets new thing. Comic books say it sucks. And it's like, it's because you literally created nothing. You know, what do you got? Internet gas, dude? Yeah, if they're going to have an agenda, at least write a good story around it. You could do what Jen does. But if you can't make them believable in your own story, then like Ripa, he's this is another thing I thought was funny. They're like, he's going to be a main character. He's going to be a black guy. Isn't that woke? I'm like, no, just because he's black doesn't mean he's woke. Skin color is not woke. Woke is we made a black character who is just a black character because he's black. There's no different. There's no just like no real story behind it, or they make it really bad. Where it's a black guy. He lives in the hood. He's been a gangster his whole life. It's like, oh come on, like do something new, do something cool with the character. Um, like Blade. So many characters back then were so good. One of my favorite characters is Deadpool, Hulk. They fucking ruined Hulk. Hulk was one of my favorite characters of all time, and oh my god, the She-Hulk fucking movie is gonna make him look like a fucking bitch, and I am so mad. And he looks horrible. The CGI looks horrible. I hate Smart Hulk. I really do. I hated this new phase of Hulk where he's like a professor. He's big and he's like like. Oh, I'd rather have the old Hulk. I want the Hulk. I want to see Hulk smash. Dude, if I was in charge of Marvel, for one of the main movies I would do is a comedy. I would have Hulk, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Professor X do a hangover movie. And Scott. I would have Scott in there too. I would have a hangover style movie with Scott, Wolverine, Deadpool, and it literally had like Deadpool like freaking finds out Scott got married or something. And yeah. Have comics with black male character that's a good father. Make sure he hates doing that. Yeah, yeah. You can't have a good male role model. The females can't look like female heroes. They have to be men. They have to be like literally men. It's stupid. That's like say. This is what I would pitch. I'd be like, all right, let's do a comedy where Deadpool. You got to have Hugh Jackman Wolverine. You got to have Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. You got to get not this Hulk. I would have a different Hulk, and then you'd have to have Professor X, and then do somebody's like a serious Scott, and then like have Scott and Jane get married. And this is like right before their marriage, and they're having Hangover where Deadpool shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, I heard you guys are getting married. Let's have a fucking awesome time. Let's do a bachelor party." Wolverine's like, okay. And he like gives them all drinks and they all drink it and they all wake up the next day and can't find Scott. They can't find Professor X. Hulk's fucking wearing like girl underwear or some shit. Fucking. Norton is the actual regular. Yeah. You see, like, I would have it where it's like so fucking hilarious. Have like literally the banter. One of my favorite banters is like Wolverine and Deadpool and Spider-Man. Throwing Spider-Man in there too. Like have him like, not young Spider-Man, but have him like adult Spider-Man. You could do all kinds of fun stuff with these characters, but they don't. They go, let's do female empowerment on every single movie. Also, the male characters came before all lower and idiots. And it's like, because we know what's going to happen to She-Hulk. She's going to come out. She just became the Hulk. They're not going to do it where she was in a car accident, and the only way to save her life is a blood transfusion from him, which turns her into the Hulk. And she doesn't become the sexy green fucking machine that she was in the comics. She's going to become powerful, strong female. Fucking can't show my cleavage because that would be sexist. I'm more powerful than the Hulk. I can do everything better than he can. I figured out how to control the Hulk before he can. I don't want to see that. I don't. I want to see cool, just sexy green Hulk from the comics. And I want to see Hulk. Whatever. Let Marvel go their own way. I have no care for them anymore. I'm done. I've been done before. I thought Infinity War was pretty much the last good movie they had. I thought Endgame was, and then everything after just. downhill, like complete disaster. I really think they have no leadership over there who has any idea what they're doing anymore. They're just like, let's just throw things at the wall and see if it sticks. And if it sticks, we'll just keep throwing things at the wall. And they're like, hey, look, we partnered with Sony and they like Spider-Man. And the only reason they like Spider-Man, the Homecoming one, is because they had, cameos. Let's do cameos and everything. Everything has to have cameos. Cameos after cameos after cameos. Like, I also admit the only reason Homecoming was good is because they literally brought in the old Spider-Man. That's the only part I liked about that whole movie, is when he was in the movie. I was like, yes, they finally brought in the fucking Spider-Man I love, and they brought in Doc Ock, and I thought, fuck, that dude was fucking great as Doc Ock. That's the only thing I cared about. Everything else sucked. That's just me. I know I don't like any of it. I didn't like how they ended it. I don't like any of it. No. I'd rather have the old Spider-Man back. If they do this, the Secret Wars, right, could be fantastic. But I don't expect them to do anything right anymore, because they just literally just announced freaking Doctor Doom, and I don't care. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You got Doctor Doom. I love Doctor Doom. I literally got his character right here. I'll show you. Actually, this is one of my favorite freaking things I found. Give me 1 second. Here we are. See, my Doctor Doom statue. I fucking love Doctor. I love this one. I actually really like this statue because all the fucking bones and shit underneath him. Fucking love Doctor Doom. Is literally one of my favorite bad guys. And yeah, so and then I got my Deadpool statue I got here that I got not too long ago, right here. Fucking, I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I think he was the perfect choice. I think he embodied the Deadpool to such a degree. Fucking spiderwebs all over this thing. I need a Spider-Man statue or something like right next to it. So all these spiderwebs kind of freaking make it funnier. But yeah, I fucking love, and I don't think they're gonna do him right. I don't think they're gonna do Doctor Doom right at all. I think they're gonna freaking make him just like some kind of like super rich white supremacist fucking stupid shit. And I'm be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is Deadpool. This is Doctor Doom, not Deadpool. This is Doctor Doom. You have to do Doctor Doom right. And you need the Fantastic Four, and they can't do the Fantastic Four right. They've never done it. I don't think they've ever really done it. You know, the original Fantastic Four movies where they had, what's his name is, I can't remember who the cast was, but I thought they were decent, but they need to do they need to do it right. If they don't do it right, then it's just gonna be trash, and they're gonna ruin a freaking great character. Love this statue. Yeah, it's gonna be some alt right fucking, and you know it's gonna happen. I would be so surprised if they don't. They'll make him black, and actually, I don't think they'll do that because they can't have a black bad guy. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I love my fucking Deadpool is one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Deadpool. Oh, what else did I got back there? I don't think I have anything really Marvel. I don't know. Those are my only two really big steps. Well, I got my My Hero Academy statue back there. Guy, he's pretty cool. I gotta watch that show again. It's been too long because I've really delved into My Hero Academy. Oh, but yeah. Oh, I hope they don't ruin Doctor Doom. They've ruined so much already. I have no faith. No faith. Especially after everything I've seen in this last freaking thing. I have no faith that they're going to do him right. They freaking destroyed Loki and his own show. I couldn't believe they did that to him. I was like, Loki's a cool character. You're making him into such a. They ruined so much in that show. Freaking made the freaking Infinity Stones paperweight. I was like, oh. Wow. Oh. That's why I'm so glad for indie comics. That's why I got here's three of mine I got right here. that I've been supporting. Um, Neen, I want to say, I'm not going to say her name. I never do, but she's the one that helped me find my cover artist, Nyriam. She's the one that did Bonds. It's a great freaking comic. She's doing her second one right now, I believe. And she's the one that helped me do her and one of her friends did my cover art to my book, which is fantastic. So I thank her a lot for it, because that took me a while trying to find a good cover artist to really help me. I even tried to go on Fiverr, and the dude on there tried to screw me over so bad. I was so pissed. Then you have the Sunsworn, Wings of Vengeance. That's another comic I backed. And then I got Infantile, freaking Chronicles. I think this book is really cool too. This is like elves and stuff. It's freaking awesome. Like, these are good comics, and I love how they come in like these boxes and stuff, so I can protect them. And they're worth every penny. And I'm glad I backed these ones. And I got other ones I want to back as soon as I'm able. And yeah, Miss Marvel was the best Disney Plus show, mainly because it couldn't destroy well established character. True, I've heard good things. I heard some people say it's a good show for like teenage girls. I'm like, okay, well, I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus. I think the last thing I watched the first episode of Obi-Wan, and I was like, not for me. Another thing they just freaking destroyed, freaking Obi-Wan. Oh, god dang it. Star Wars also. Like, hey, you can ruin Star Wars. Marvel's freaking garbage. Ugh. DC can never get their head out of their own ass to make anything good. And that's a shame, because they could do some great things. Because they have Henry Cavill as Superman. If they just freaking get off their ass and make good Superman movies, it'd be perfect. You got freaking Jason Momoa is freaking Aquaman. I love Jason Momoa. I loved him since freaking Stargate Atlantis. When I first saw him in anything, I freaking loved his character in Stargate Atlantis. And I think they're just ruining. I just don't think they just don't have the writers. That's what they do. They just need better writers. I don't think I would be the better writer. I think they need to find people who know, just scour the fandom. That's what the best thing they could do is find writers who are fans of Marvel and are fans of DC and go, hey, would you like to take your favorite character in a comic book world and make something from it? And they could be like, hell yeah. Because you know there's freaking fan stuff that's way better than anything they're fucking coming up with now. What are they doing? Just give me a second. But yeah. It's okay. They can ruin the stuff that's been great for years, and it just paves the way for new creators to come in and not have to worry about the crap. I don't know what they're doing back there, like pounding on the wall. Or is it the writers are put in a box to where they have to try and please so many different masters? Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, that stupid freaking. They have all those rules where they have to have so many gay characters or so many this characters. That completely destroys. That's why I never want to publish through any company, because the last thing I want is a publisher coming up to me in my book and be like, I like your book. I mean, like your story, but can your main character be gay? Like, no, because that's not part of my story. It has nothing to do with my story. Why would I make my main character gay when it has nothing? It's nowhere in the story is that even relevant. Well, we need more gay representation. Well, then don't find it in my book, because you're not gonna. My book's not representing anything with humanity. So you're not going to really see yourself in this book, because it's all fantasy. You know, unless you want to see yourself as an elf or dwarf, then I guess. It's I don't need. That's what I don't understand about these new. You know, every time I hear, well, now you can see yourself reflected on screen. It's like, what? Who needs to see them? Who's so arrogant that they don't watch anything unless it shows them on screen? Like, That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You don't go to watch a movie to see yourself. You go to see whatever movie you want to see and be entertained by what the people you see on screen. And like I've never gone to a freaking movie and go, I want to see a little overweight father of 5 who pretty much takes care of his kids. Like I don't want to see that. I want to see cool freaking Top Gun where the dude's fucking flying through jets and being like, damn, I wish I could do that. That's fucking awesome. And maybe inspire kids of a freaking new generation to become fighter pilots and join the military and freaking fly jets. Because it almost did it for me when I was a kid. It literally did. Me and my buddy, when I was young in high school, we were like, let's do that. Let's become Top Gun. Let's join the Air Force and freaking fire pilots. Yeah, you can't see yourself in Predator unless you're a freaking Hulk Hogan or fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got fucking yeah, no, you see that's the point. You don't go to these movies to see yourself. You go to these movies to be entertained, to see crazy. You don't go to Star Wars because you want to see yourself. You want to go to Star Wars because you want to see cool space battles and the hero's journey, and get to see Luke do cool stuff and become the master. Fortunately, they turned him into a wimpy little bitch, you know. Other creators that I recommend is Kai. If you guys ever watch Kai, he had a book too. His book came out long before mine did. Domino. This is a great book. Definitely go read it. I'm not done with it yet. I got to finish it and then do a review over it. Actually, I got to do a new review too because I did a review over this guy's Summoner series. I can't think of the author right now. I'll have to look it up. But he did this. Do I have that book over here? I do. Here they are. Just 1 second. Oh. This guy's not a very big time publisher either that I know of. He could be a lot more books by now. But he did the Summer series. I really enjoyed these books. What was the name of this author? Oh, yeah. Taran Matharu. Taran Matharu. I believe he is in Europe. He's a European author. He did this series, and I got to do a review. I did a review over these 3 books, and I loved them. Like a great series if you like magic, cool summoning stuff, dragons and orcs and cool. It's actually a really cool world. He also did his Challenger series, which is actually really, really interesting. It's got like gods and like aliens and freaking gladiatorial dinosaur. It's got all kinds of stuff, and it's really interesting how he put that world together. And I can't wait to do. I got to do a review over that. I just finished his 3rd book on that series, so I love book. I love stories. I love good fan. I'm a fantasy fan, so that's what I look for. I look for sci-fi and fantasy. That's what I love to read, and so other stuff I want to get to. I need to get some drunk 3PO. Or not drunk 3PO. I mean, freaking critical drinkers. I need to get some critical drinker books and start doing reviews over those because I think those would be probably really good. Because critical drinkers are great. I know it's probably a great author. Another author that I really enjoyed was Shadowversity. His book is really good. I think I did a review over that. I don't know if I did a review over that book. I might have to look. But his book is really good. I know a lot of people actually know him. He's pretty famous on YouTube too. He's a lot bigger than me. He does a lot of those, medieval weapons and stuff. But I love his freaking channel. Actually, his channel helped me really think about like swords and stuff like that, and like stuff for my own book. And there's a weapon in my book I think he'll find really interesting. I think he'd love it. It's very simple, but yet really complex, and it's really kind of cool the way I came up with it. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, God, so much out there, Dave. You just gotta look. There's so much other like I like the Forgotten Realms. I know that some of the new stuff has become because the Wizard of the Coast became really stupid, but some of their old books for the Forgotten Realms are really good. I like the Drizzt series. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. And so now, though, I'm starting to delve deeper into like the whole world of Faerun and like the older and older books. And like one of them I just got the audiobook to is God, I don't know what it's called. I don't have my phone on me, so but it's one of the older books. I know the series. They have some good audiobooks. Some of them are the people they hire to do some of the audiobooks aren't the greatest, but I like the stories. I really like the stories. So there's other things out there. You just gotta find them. And new authors are popping up all the time. There's tons of fantasy authors. I can never even read every fantasy book I've seen. I haven't started a Game of Thrones series because I don't think it's ever going to end. I really don't think that guy's ever going to come out with the Winds of Winter or whatever people are talking about. Dude's been 10 years. Come on, if an indie creator can do his first book in 2.5 years, why is a guy who's got millions and millions of dollars from his series can't finish his final book? I don't understand. If I had that much money, I could easily get my second book done. I would just write it up. Take me a couple months to really just sit down and focus on writing. Get to knock out the writing, have like a freaking army of editors, and be like, here you go, here's a chapter, 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 go to work. I'll review it after you're done. And I'll have someone to help me it would be so much easier. God, if I had the money that's the big thing about writing is if you have the money, like I think in all to get my book done, it probably costs around maybe 4,000. I think of my own money I put into the book to help get it all done. That's without having I didn't have to buy my editor and stuff like that. I think that's about as much I want to say I really put into it. But for me, that's still a lot of money for someone who's not single, but is a father and it's got all the especially in today's world where we have all of our money is pretty much going to bills, gas, and food, which is getting so much more expensive. That's why I only got so many people I back is because I can only afford so much right now. Especially if this explodes and it makes a lot of money, I can back so many more. And I can put so much more money into like helping, like just back other creators, help me get the next book done. That's the big thing. I want this book to help me fund my next books. And that way I can get the next books done so much faster. Because then I can go, hey, bro, you're great. Because he literally like, I love you. You're my brother. But you might want to hire an actual editor next time. And we're probably gonna just get hire an editor for my second book, and then find someone to help do all the art. And I want to get all the characters done. I want to get all the characters' art done. It's one of my main goals. I want to bring them to life so that people can buy like T-shirts or posters of the characters, like that one up there of my main character Arthas. And I want to like so much more stuff I want to get done this series that all it really needs is funding. That's the main thing that holds you back is just the funding. Eric July, when he did his book, he poured like what 20 grand or something like that into his own book, or so he's to do what he's doing. He put so much on the line. I wish I could do that. I wish I had that kind of I wish I had that kind of collateral. I could be like, all right, here's 20 grand, pour into a company that can. But he risked a lot. He did, because if it didn't do anything and it didn't go anywhere, that's scary, especially for one who's got kids. And he doesn't have kids, but I do. I mean, I got freaking 5 kids. I can't afford to put that kind of collateral onto something. Kids. I love my kids. I do. Some days, I swear. They just want to drive me nuts. They're literally fighting over the TV and who gets the phone, who gets this, or who gets that. And it's actually bedtime for them. I got to wrap it up pretty soon so I can get everyone to bed. But anyways, I'll pretty much wrap it up here because I do need to get them down and settle down. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed this hangout. I gotta do this more often. So I try to do video because I can't record videos. I tried to read it from a script and it sounded terrible. It did. So if you do watch my lore video 1 and you're like, ooh, the voice really sucks or it doesn't sound very good. Yeah, I'm not a reader. I'm not. I can't like. I'm just not this. I can't read from a script. I try, and I'm just not very good at it. And I have no idea how to edit. So, but anyways, thank you for being here, especially to you, Small Time Republic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. It really helps bring the thing forward. And I hope to see you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be great to each other. I'll see you next time. Peace.